Uh-oh. Wow. He's stealing. He's stealing.
Yeah, someone is currently stealing my property.
My name is Ian Dinkla. I live at
Oh, he's got a weapon. He's got a knife. He's got a knife.
He's got a weapon.
Hey, Ian.
I don't want to hurt anybody. Back the up.
Knife.
Threatening anyone. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just.
He just put my property into his vehicle.
Are people really this stupid? They must be.
The guy who stole the sign is here.
Face the cameras. We got cameras.
Okay. Don't resist, mate.
Stop this person from being attacked.
Who are you?
The white knights are coming in. Get off him.
You fools! Get involved! Bystander effect! Get off! You crazy! What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Oh my!
These people.
Are you?
Why are you guys doing this?
Back up, back up. Give the police space. Give the police space to work.
Are you kidding?
Whatever you want.
These people are allowed to exist here with students on this campus. It's a peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.
People who come here and harass people. He made it violent. Don't touch him, dude. You insane. Oh my. What is wrong? How come he is not being arrested right now? He's the one who touched him. He's the one who started the violence. He grabbed him.
He's a police officer. That's how it works, mate. Just like I said at the start of the clip, you can't be this stupid. You can't be. But there's people out there who are just... I think them being stupid is a compliment. This guy steals a sign in front of everyone, is carrying a weapon, then says he's not going to hurt anyone. Peaceful protest was thrown in the mix. Steals the sign, then when he's confronted by police for doing the crime he did, him and his white knights want to play the victim. That's how lost these people are. And then the white knights, of course, they come in saying that the police is abusing his power and all this nonsense, and then they end up getting arrested themselves. Bunch of donuts doing donut behavior. Yet again, loving and accepting of all, doing everything but that.
I'm going to be honest. Most normal people don't question it when a trans person walks into the bathroom. Nobody should be spending this much time thinking about trans people and where they're taking a piss, because it's creepy and weird. You are creepy and weird for doing this.
Not sure about this take. I think a dude in a dress with a wig pretending to be a woman walking into a woman's bathroom. That's creepy and weird, not the people questioning it, you donut.
Holding my sign as I am being harassed by a masked person.
If I'm harassing you, why are you following me?
I'm sorry, you are following us.
Okay, what?
You
Okay,
are
what?
taking images of us.
hurt.
We are in a public space.
Right, see?
And you are following
See?
us. We are.
You're following
I'm
us.
harassing her and she's following me.
Yeah, how's that work?
Hi.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
I'm being very harassing. Hello.
Yep.
I mean, you can't fix stupid. And this video proves that. Imagine following someone saying you're being harassed and you're being followed. It really sums up these people's mentality and IQ levels, doesn't it?
Hey, American Eagle. Now do black and brown women. Because black and brown women also have great genes that they inherit from their parents. Did you know that?
People are still going on about this.
They also have butts that look really good in genes as well. But they don't have to fit their butts into American Eagle genes. And I realize that the point of the ads, if we're all understanding them correctly, is that you're trying to point in the direction away from black and brown
What?
women, right? Right. See, here's the thing. There's women like me out there. The white women who give a fuck. And the white women who had their mother spend a substantial amount of money at your place of establishment whenever I was a teenager back in the day. Okay? And now I'm a mom. And now I will not be spending a fucking dime if she ever asked me to go there. Hell no.
People are still going on about that ad, didn't they? So, if it wasn't Sydney Sweeney and it was a black model, actress, whatever, no one would say anything then, would they? It's because it's an attractive white blonde woman that stirs the pot up real good, doesn't it? And these people must have a hell of a lot of free time to be sat around making TikToks and whinging about a flipping jeans advert. I wish I had that much free time.
I feel like a lot of young people right now in the workforce, I see comments all the time that are like, I'm betting on the world to end. We don't want to do this forever. There's no reward for our work anymore. Oh, you get to go to sleep at night and then wake up a couple hours later and get back on the grind. Literally every single morning I'm like, can't a meteor just hit the building I work at and none of us have to go? It'd be great for everyone.
Being an adult,
also,
mate.
I don't want to see one boomer in my comments being like, oh, you guys think you have it so bad. We had it so much worse than you. You could buy a house and support 3 children while your wife stayed home working at Michael's craft store.
Well, I thought women wanted equality and all that, and now they were given that, and they can go to work and help contribute to the bills, because women didn't want to be stay-at-home wives anymore, but now they got to go to work. They want to resort back to being housewives. You can't make it up. And yeah, getting up every day for work is shit. Paying bills is shit. There's a lot of things about being an adult is shit, but that's life. We've all got to do it. You just got to get on with it, mate.
I've made up my mind. I will be turning in my DACA and returning to Mexico. I do not want to be captive to this country anymore.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
20 boo-boos in 1 month. Go off. You're choosing this over your child. You're choosing her over him. What do you think of 20 little boo-boos in a month? Because you're purchasing $1,084.99 in the last month alone.
I was using it for PopMart purchases.
On a Costco card?
It was okay.
It's at $14,364.15 with a $209.11 minimum monthly payment. Again, la boob is more important than la kid.
So it was more of a lazy thing for me because I had the Citibank on my PayPal and I was using PayPal to quickly try to get the Labubu's because they're really hard to get. So that's why I was
apparently not hard enough because this is okay. PopMart. It's like 1,000 Labubus.
It's actually like 20.
And they're hard to get? Shut the f up.
Hard to get.
20 Labubus in 1 month. Go off.
That's
You're choosing
wild.
this over your child. You're choosing her over him. What do you think of 20 Labubus in a month?
How much have you spent total in Labubus?
Whoa. How much do you think she spent?
Hopefully not more than 300.
Try doubling that plus.
$700.
Round it up. 700 to la boo boo.
The fact she's trying to rationalize and justify her stupid behavior just will show you that even when you try and help these people, it's just going through one ear and out the other because they've already made up their mind on what their priorities are. Some people just can't be saved from bad habits. And aren't these things flipping toys or something? You guys who are more clued up, you have to let me know in the comments so I can Google this. That spending that much on toys is absolutely wild. As an adult, like, and you got kids? That's crazy.
Believe trans children when they tell you who they are.
No, we don't.
Oh, you're a girl? You're Queen Rose.
Welcome to Trans 101, where we put the T in LGBTQ+. I was just 4 years old when I named myself Rose and I started calling myself a girl. I wasn't able to come out or transition until I was 19 years old. There have been many studies and scientific research done, and kids have a very solidified idea of what their gender is as young as 3 or 4 years old.
Well, not really, mate. I used to think I was Superman when I was a kid. I genuinely believed it. Good thing my mum wanted a donut like these people. I'd have been screwed jumping out the window at the top of a block of flats. Yeah, that wouldn't have gone down well, would it?
Coming out as trans doesn't have to mean that someone is going to go full force, jump straight into the deep end. Coming out as trans is a process and it looks different for each individual. Transitioning for a trans child could mean simply changing one's name, pronouns, and the clothing or hairstyle that they have. Trans kids know who they are.
Trans kids, trans child, all that stuff just sends a flipping shiver down my spine, man. It's disgusting, man. To even put those two words together. It's crazy. That's what it is.
So support trans kids and believe them when they tell you who they are.
Stop it. Get some help.
So on top of that, should we start believing kids about Santa Claus and all that? Because kids believe he's real. So kids who believe they're trans and all that, which they probably got from their delusional parents or their school, they wouldn't feel that way. So Santa Claus is real, guys, just so you know, because the kids have said he's real, and you got to accept it, otherwise you're going to get cancelled, alright?
You should not have to carry that thing and risk your life to have a child that you can't even take care of. Children should not be having children.
Just kill them instead.
It's not murder.
Why not?
Because it's not a fucking being.
But you said a child shouldn't have a child, so you admitted that it's a child.
Because if you let it grow and it comes out of her, then it is a child.
So what is it when you kill it?
No, it's a clump of cells.
Okay, what are you made of?
I am made of lungs, I have a brain.
Your brain's made of cells and your lungs are made of cells.
It's like these people believe when they have a baby that grows and feeds for 9 months, it's just an empty shell, and then when it's born, it just, a flick of the switch happens and it becomes a baby, living, breathing thing. And she said she's got a brain. I'm not sure about that.
If the men find out we can shapeshift, they're going to tell the church.
You ain't shipped shit. Anyways, looking for an efficient advertising display solutions? Take a look at this portable, double-sided, and compact LCD screen. Place it in your store and it will effectively showcase your menu. It can also play videos. If an event is held, it will be very convenient to bring it along and help businesses build a prominent brand presence. With CE and FCC certifications, the turnaround time is 15 days. 1 year's warranty, no MOQ. We ship worldwide. Hit the WhatsApp button in my bio for more details and follow SimpSaverSam.
She turns pro-life after this conversation.
When if the baby cannot survive outside of the mother, it is not a human life, it is a parasite. That is by definition.
No, that's not by definition.
It is not its own life. It is feeding off of another person.
All right, okay, a parasite is one species of organism living off of... No.
I love you.
Listen, you were a human and you lived inside of your mother's womb.
Yes.
Right?
I wasn't a human, I was a cluster of cells.
No.
I wasn't a human. I don't count that.
No, you didn't become a human when you were born, trust me.
That's in my
all sound reason like
in my opinion.
But you believe that because you want to support abortion. But really you're facing a situation. Reject science, reason,
it's
morality.
Not rejecting science and reason. And I don't think it's rejecting morality.
No, okay, so you think so a human doesn't become a human until they pop out of the womb.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
In the event that like a C-section is performed and the human is pulled out through a C-section, right? And say they open up the womb, okay? They open up the womb, they go in and they repair the spine, and then they close back up the womb, and the baby's born.
Yeah.
When was that baby a human?
It wasn't a human. It was a cluster of cells. They were fixing the cells, and then it was a human when it came out.
So, I don't believe in this kind of magic.
Well, it's not magic. It's science.
Are you guys Christian?
What a donut.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, G?
What? You just traveling around?
Yeah, I'm out and about.
Okay, we talked yesterday. Did you change your mind?
I seriously reconsidered my values.
Oh yeah, we should.
Well, I can tell you one thing, guys. That is not something I see often on YouTube. Is a happy ending to one of these videos. That doesn't happen often. And what she was saying at the start is just absolutely crazy. Like, it's just a cluster of cells for 9 months and then it just becomes a human in a matter of seconds when it's born. That just sounds like to me they're trying to justify the reason behind getting abortion. They're trying to dehumanize the baby, which is actually what it is, so they can carry on doing what they're doing, sleeping around and doing the horrendous things what they're doing. But at the end, when she said she's changed her values and the way she thinks about it, if she's telling the truth, fair play to her.
Free bleeding in the grass right now. And it's occurred to me that a large collective of women are bleeding right now, and whatever this cycle is, whatever we're moving through our blood together, feels like one of the most potent.
Do you think if these people had phones, they would do and say the things? Because I really doubt it. She went out there to literally film that video, and it's got 157,000 likes. I'm doing something wrong. I don't know who this is watching this stuff, but these are the sorts of people that go into a corner shop, they buy a stone for 50p that was made in a factory, and they believe that stone is going to bring them fortune, riches, a Lambo, loads of money and well-being. She's one of them, I already know. And she definitely goes on a date and she'll ask that guy his star sign before she even asks his name. She's one of them donuts.
This is what democracy looks like.
Will you talk to me?
This is what democracy looks like.
Just talk to me.
They ain't gonna make. He's fighting a battle he's never gonna win, because these people believe that they're in the right because they scream and shout. That's their way of proving that they're right in their world.
Does your belly touch your steering wheel while you're driving? In the center of the steering wheel, there's an airbag, which may explode in your direction in order to protect you if you're in an accident. But if you're sitting too close, it could actually really hurt you. It's your favorite fat queer automotive educator, and some steering wheels can be adjusted. They're typically called telescopic steering wheels. Adjust the steering wheel and seat to find a position that's safe to drive in, with as much distance from your belly as you can. Seatbelts should be worn low across your hips and underneath your belly whenever possible. If the seatbelt isn't long enough, you can buy a seatbelt extender. And remember, these are vehicle specific. Getting one from the dealership is the safest option, but if they don't make one, you can get a seatbelt extender from Seatbelt Extender Pros, which uses EU standards. Did you learn something? Comment and repost this video so it gets to everyone who needs it. Drive safe out there.
There's no way. Guys, I'm mumbling my words here because I watch this stuff and I'm like, these aren't real people. They can't be. They can't be. And at the end, she said, did you learn anything? I learned that I'm losing brain cells watching these, because all these people need to do is skip all the bullshit and let's address the elephant in the room. Pause, right? Why not just go to the gym, get on a treadmill for half an hour a day? These people got half an hour, right? You'll solve a lot of problems these people are facing. But hey, I must be fat phobic.
How old are you?
19. I'm 32.
You lady single?
No, that's my baby daddy and that's her boyfriend. Open relationship.
So what's it like being in an open relationship with your man?
We see who we want to see, but at the end of the day, we come home to each other.
Is it that you're not satisfied from what you're getting, or?
No, I am satisfied. It's just the lifestyle I've lived for 6 years, and so we go outside of the relationship.
Do you tell your man when you're gonna be with?
I really wish they would change the term of what is called an open relationship. It's not, there's nothing about it which is a relationship. Nothing. It don't matter if you live, you just, that's just your mate. Open relationship. Man.
With another guy or what?
So I haven't done it recently, but I'm the breadwinner. I take care of my house.
So he follows you?
Correct.
So you don't tell him when you're gonna get some D somewhere else?
No.
So what's your body count?
Over 100.
You couldn't see yourself getting married then?
I've been married 5 times. I'm currently married.
So you're a man or?
Catch.
No, my husband's in prison.
This woman and her relationship, her situation, is everything that is wrong with this generation. This is why we're cooked. We're cooked. Asteroid's coming.
I quit my job because I can't take care of my basic needs and work 40 hours a week at the same time.
It's really hard to say this out loud and put it online, but I know that I'm not the only person going through this. I've almost been fired from every job that I've ever had, and it's not because I'm not smart. I actually tend to overperform in the beginning. It's just that after some time, I inevitably burn out once I wake up one day and realize that I haven't taken a shower in like 3 weeks. It's really frustrating because I know that I'm an intelligent person, and I've been able to accomplish.
You haven't showered in 3 weeks? Who did what? Where do you work? Are you? Did you go to prison or something? Like what? Why are you not showering for 3 weeks?
A lot of really amazing things in my life, but I still can't manage to take care of myself. And it's not just a matter of not trying hard enough or not being disciplined. If I could take care of my basic needs and work full time, I would have fucking done that by now and then some. It's a form of self-sabotage to honestly be putting so much energy into these executive functioning skills at work and not have anything left to give myself. It's like I would deadass wake up at 5 a.m., pace back and forth, start working at 7, finish work at 6, eat, sleep for dinner, and then crawl in bed at 8 o'clock.
That sounds like a normal working day for everyone else. Nothing sounds out of the ordinary for that. I was working 12 to 14 hours for years, every day. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. But quitting, I'm not sure how that's going to resolve your financial situation.
And it's like a part of me does feel insane by quitting at the verge of a recession. But it's like if I actually want to build a future for myself and get there in one piece, taking care of myself has to become my full-time job.
By being unemployed. Right.
I was not born to raise shareholder value. I'm actually meant to live a life, and I need to learn how to be a person in order to do that. So
all the information she presented is just an average working person's day. Wake up, have something to eat, have a cup of tea, go to work at a job most of us don't like, but you do it so you can provide for your family. You get home late, you probably sat in traffic for an hour, get home, you're too knackered to do anything, eat dinner, have a shower, say hello to your missus, and then go to bed, and you do it again. And you get a couple days off a week. That's life, unfortunately. Yeah, it's crap, but quitting and going unemployed to like build a future. I don't know how those two is the recipe for that. I must be missing something.
Women are oppressed currently in this world. Right?
Oh, explain.
Right? Less so.
I'd love to know how.
What do you mean?
Any
they can't
example?
Drive. They can't go out without.
They can't drive?
In certain countries, absolutely, women are oppressed. Are you literally denying that women are not oppressed in this world?
I don't even think it amounts to oppression.
But we agree that was oppression.
I don't agree that that was oppression.
So the government's saying that people cannot.
So the woman in this clip is Rachel Wilson, Andrew Wilson's wife. And I mean, what a couple.
Vote in the country they live is not oppression.
No, because...
Just because it was a wrong before that for men doesn't mean that it still was unequal.
So do you think that we would have the welfare state without female voters? Do you think the welfare state is a good thing?
Here we go. This ought to be good.
Okay, the first topic is feminism was not a reaction to oppression. Hi. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too.
I guess a natural first question is what you think it arose from.
So the story most everyone's heard is that the reason feminism came about is because the evil patriarchy was oppressing the women, and they looked around one day and they went, oh no, we're being oppressed. We have to march and, protest until we're equal. That's really not how it happened at all. It was more of an astroturfed social engineering project by radical revolutionaries and wealthy industrialists.
So I'm just going to be honest. I don't know enough about the history of feminism to say whether you're right or wrong.
And on top of that, they want to divide and separate the strongest thing in the home, which is the family unit. They don't want that. That's the strongest thing. We can fight back. And that is the key to true happiness, is the family unit. They're trying to break that and cause all these problems. And they are successful in that. They've definitely done that to some degree.
So I guess I kind of would rather just get to the meat of what I'm assuming you're saying, sure, which is that feminism is inherently wrong, right? Because it wasn't founded by oppressed women. It was founded by some other corrupt industry.
That, and people just have this assumption because of over 100 years of propaganda that women were historically oppressed, when I don't think that's accurate at all. I don't think there's any real evidence that women were oppressed compared to men, for instance.
Right.
So what about parts of our history where there were just objectively unequal rights, like voting, for instance?
So
these people always talk about voting, but it's like they forget about wars and drafts that young men were pulled from their homes and forced to go on the front line with no training, and most crimes in the world now, prisons, victims of crime, it's all men. It is. But these people don't think about that, it seems.
So in the West, most men only gained the right to suffrage maybe a decade or so before women did. So people assume that as soon as we had, various forms of democracy, either in America or England, that all men could vote. That's not the case. It was a very small group of men. There were a lot of caveats. It depends on the time and place, but you had to either be a landowner, you had to have certain other various requirements. Right. Sometimes you had to pay a poll tax in order to be able to vote. So in England, for example, men only gained universal suffrage about a decade before women did.
But it's good that we made that progress, right?
I don't think so, but that's a separate prompt.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't really know where to go from there then, because, again, regardless of the circumstances by which feminism arose, is kind of indifferent to me. This is kind of similar to conversations like I had earlier as far as like religion, for example, in society, right? It's more about the effects of it. And so regardless of the circumstances of how feminism arose, I think that the effects of it are probably advantageous.
And
a lot of people who advocate for feminism, modern feminism anyway, they say they want equality, but it doesn't really seem like that. They want superiority. That's very different. That is very different to equality.
The effects are deeply disadvantageous to both men and women. And I think women, if your concern is for women, we were better off prior to our liberation from the evil patriarchy. If you look at every metric that we have to assess women's happiness and well-being in modern times, it's lower than it was prior to when they started tracking this around the 1960s.
Yeah, she is right. And the percentage of severe depression in women, single women, unmarried, over the age of 40, is like 40 something. I think it's 44%. That's a lot. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what does.
So I think there's a problem with the data tracking there, right? I don't know this figures specifically, but I mean, we have a lot less horses in our military than we also did back in like the 1800s, right? So
sure.
I think that.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think it did for women? Why do you think, or for anyone, what do you think the advantages are? Why was it good?
Well, I think specifically just giving equal footing and opportunity to women, which I don't think is even entirely fulfilled at this point. But I'm sure that I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the traditional, female role.
What opportunities did they not have?
Well, voting for one. But even in the workplace,
men
right?
couldn't vote either for the most part.
Yeah, and we fixed it, right? So I think that this is, just because it was a wrong before that for men doesn't mean that it still was unequal.
So do you think that we would have the welfare state without female voters? Do you think the welfare state is a good thing?
I don't understand the question. I apologize.
I think this guy, even though he is being respectful, he's not brought his tools to the workplace, if you know what I'm saying. He's not really got the answers, it seems.
So would we have massive entitlement spending? Would we have food stamps? Would we have open borders and all these perks for immigrants coming in where they're getting free housing and healthcare and food if it weren't for female voters?
I think you still would. I don't think female voters necessarily have to sway those things, but
that's a really good point she made, because a lot of these immigration, no one's an immigrant, immigrants are welcome here. If you look at those protests, 90% of the audience, if not more, are women. They're the ones advocating for this. It's the same with the transgenders in sports. A lot of those votes came from women. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Women destroyed their own sports. Crazy.
I also
The data says that overwhelmingly they are the most reliable voting bloc for all types of entitlements, especially open borders and immigration.
If you go back though historically, right, and again, I didn't know the topic, so I don't have any literature to like literally support this, but women had a lot of influence in the House even when they couldn't vote, right?
Exactly.
So, but we gave the ability to women to express their own independent votes. They are a vote. And so if, let's just say you're right, that women are a major proponent for, policies we see in immigration, who cares? They're still a part of our populace. They get to have a say on this.
If you're a woman and you're living in New York City or other places where there's tons of illegal immigration and you're now being subjected to disproportional amounts of violence that you weren't subjected to before.
That's not true.
Okay.
No,
go ahead and substantiate that.
Yeah, so illegal immigrants specifically, if you obviously remove the illegal part of the immigration, literally just commit crimes at lower rates than national.
So you think that all the Mexican gangs?
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
I mean, yeah. What he said at the end there, I mean, how he can't agree that illegal immigration does result in a lot of bad things. I'm sure there's some good in it, but we can't accept it because all the bad that's come with it. There is so many crimes and bad things that have happened, even in the UK, let alone America and other places. Illegal immigration is not a good thing anywhere.
Hello there.
Hello.
Well, surprise, surprise, I agree with Wilson. But is it fair to, since we agree on feminism specifically, is it fair to shift it?
Right, I'm looking at this guy's top, right? And it says, the Indian Jesus. Only someone with a certain IQ would wear a top like that. And that's just going to piss people off anyway.
To women voting specifically.
Well, there's going to be a few prompts along those lines. So this first one is just that feminism was not a reaction to oppression of women by men.
Yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. Again, I think that's...
I'd say the vast majority of people don't agree that that's the case. And they would say, well, if that's the case, why do we have it? How did we get it if it wasn't a reaction to some kind of oppression?
The same way we still have feminism today, that people can be wrong, and a lot of people can be wrong. I think a lot of people, it seems like you present that as like, oh, people are going to disagree with me.
They do all the time, every day. So every gender studies professor in every major university would disagree with me. And they would say that the reason feminism and women's liberation activism was necessary was because there were certain aspects where women were oppressed by men.
Sure. But don't you think, especially with the last election...
So these feminists will at the same time say what they're saying about women being oppressed, but as soon as you mention that men are oppressed even in a small field, they'll be like, no, doesn't happen, men are trash, no. They should go out and work 12 hours a day and provide for us because we exist. And when they go to nightclubs, I'm using that as an example, guys have to pay for entry, girls get in for free more often than not, get free drinks more often than not to get the guys into that club. Because where the girls go, the guys go. Do you really think one of them's going to say, no, I'm going to pay, here's the money, I'm going to pay the entrance fee the same as these men? Are they really going to do that? I should pay for these drinks because these guys paid for theirs. I highly doubt it, mate.
It's shown that the opinions that unfortunately absolutely were infiltrated by these types of professors and throughout society, doesn't that show that there was the silent majority? A lot of people didn't really want to go along with it, but they were too scared to be on the wrong side of history or whatever. And that now that we're starting to see, there's a lot more people who are normal, like who just see, yeah, obviously feminism is this. Obviously pride parades are too crazy, all that stuff.
Well, if you agree with me on the prompt, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to argue with you, but...
I agree. But I didn't make the prompt. You made the prompt.
Right. But if you don't disagree with me on the prompt, am I supposed to change the prompt or change my position or change my... You could challenge me on something else, I suppose.
Well, I did, but you said you have a different prompt.
You said that...
So, okay.
What's your proposition is that people do agree with me? You think that the vast majority of people think that feminism was not a reaction to oppression?
I don't know. I don't know what people think about the origins, but I think it's far more common that people be like, I don't really know the origins, but wherever it is today, like it definitely wasn't this. And I'll say... even anecdotally, even calling myself an atheist, I've been thinking about...
This guy's an atheist, the Indian Jesus. You can't make it up.
That title in the same way as feminism. Like if you see just an average a woman today, and she says, I care about the equality of the genders. Like, you wouldn't call, oh, you're a feminist.
Yes, I would.
Well,
feminism.
Maybe you would, but again, the average person believes that there should be equality of the genders, and so
yeah, but we're not equal. That's what's so great about males and females. That's why it's so beautiful as a couple, the family unit. We're not equal. Under God we are, but I mean in the sense that men and women are very different, and when we come together, it's a great thing. It's a team. We're not equal. When are people just gonna realize that? We don't function the same. We don't think the same. Our bodies aren't the same. We're not equal. And that's just the way it is. And that's what's so great about it. But apparently it isn't to these people.
You're like, feminist.
I don't think equality of the genders is possible.
Men are this, or I need 9-month abortions. That's the understanding that people have when we use that word. I think you're underestimating the amount of people who do see through all the BS that has held up until very recently, and there's a lot of people still there. But I don't know who you're talking to if they're disagreeing with you, but I don't know how well they represent average people.
Well, the gentleman who just sat there before you said that he felt that women not being able to vote was an example of women being oppressed.
I agree with that, but I don't think that means...
Why do you think that was oppression? Because one group couldn't vote.
It's just the government not allowing you to do something. Is that not?
Yeah, the government didn't allow lots of people to do lots of things. I don't see how you could say that this is an example that women are oppressed.
Oppression isn't the end of the world.
Men weren't allowed to say no when the military turned up to the house and said, "Come fight for this war. You got no choice. Pack your bags, mate." They don't ever bring that up.
Necessarily.
I don't even think it amounts to oppression.
But we agree that was oppression.
I don't agree that was oppression at all.
So the government saying that people cannot vote in the country they live is not oppression.
No, because this country was never founded with universal suffrage. It was never intended to be something where one person, one vote was the way that they did things. It was supposed to be people with stake in the game.
How would you characterize that notion of a person living?
And talking about voting, even though they say, only men could vote, I'm pretty sure it was that the family would decide as a family unit and then they would submit a vote as a household. Pretty sure that's how it went, rather than it being singular and individual voting like it is now.
Living in a country and they can't be part of the decision.
Right now, there's a lot of things I don't have any participation in the decision making. There's a lot, like during COVID restrictions, for example, I had no say, you had no say. The things were dictated to us from the top down.
I just got 30 seconds. So what would you call that aspect? I live in a country and I don't have, that's called, it's not oppression, it's
just not oppression is a very specific thing. It means that you're intentionally being held down.
Okay, so then it's that.
I don't think it's holding you down. You can still live your life and do what you want. You don't need...
A lot of people don't vote and still live their lives.
Voting isn't necessary to, quality of life or freedom at all, really. You as a woman not being able to vote does not equal you being oppressed.
You guys have to let me know what you think about this so far, about what he said. I mean, yeah, women not being able to vote and labeling it as them being held down, like Rachel said. Not too sure about that one, but again, you guys have to let me know what you think in the comments.
Sorry we agree too much. Sorry.
All right.
Rachel, if feminism wasn't a response to oppression, why the hell does feminism exist?
I'll tell you why. There was a small group of radical revolutionaries who felt that the current system prior to this that we had through all of history was inherently oppressive to women because they felt that women and men were equal, that they're basically the same, they just have different reproductive organs, right? And that's really the only difference. There
is a lot of differences. And, you know, like I said, these feminists will dismiss men's problems or the things men have to do by themselves. They'll dismiss all that. They want things that benefit them. I think we all know that. You know, these feminists aren't applying to go and work on oil rigs or go in the sewers and fix cars, build stuff, all the stuff men have to do. The foundations of the world, and the infrastructure is run by men. We all know that. That's a controversial statement in 2025. That's the crazy thing. But these feminists aren't applying for that. They're not wanting to help out, are they? They want the benefits.
Be anything a man could do, a woman should be doing. This is a very arbitrary stance to take. And if you look historically at what rights men and women had, I think you could argue men were more oppressed than women prior even to feminism.
Seriously?
Yes, 100%.
Men were, in what way? How were men more oppressed than women?
Well, women haven't ever been conscripted to go fight and die in wars, and especially prior to feminism, that was a really brutal thing. About 80% of men historically have ended up it's 60% of men historically have never been able to reproduce. They've never had the opportunity, whether it's because they died young as cannon fodder, couldn't get a wife, weren't selected to be married. Women, all you have to do is be fertile, and you're going to have progeny. You're never going to be sent to the front lines in a war that you don't want to fight in. They don't have to work in coal mines. They don't have to do the dirty, dangerous jobs that men have to do.
Women are very privileged. What does that have to do with feminism and how it came about?
You just
you
answered
can't
it, mate.
claim that women are oppressed and also claim that they're privileged.
Right, yeah.
How could they be privileged and be oppressed?
Wait. Do you disagree that women were never oppressed? Do
Yes,
you agree?
I agree.
You agree? Wait, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Mhm.
Do you believe that women have never been oppressed?
Yes. I believe that women were never...
Seriously?
Have you noticed something about all these men saying the things they're saying? They all look like white knights, and they all look like they don't have some hairs on their back, if you know what I'm saying. That seems to be a common thing. You're never going to see a guy sat here with a beard. He's jacked. He's got a lumberjack on. He's just got done working on his farm. He ain't going to be saying the same thing these lot are saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, as a whole group. Who oppressed them? Who oppressed them? Listen, I saw your thing with Andrew, and you love to do this thing where you're like, but my presupposition, like you've never examined why you believe that. No. Why do you believe women were oppressed? You tell me why you believe that.
This is literally a historical fact.
It's not a historical fact.
Not having the right to vote. Women are oppressed currently in this world, right?
Oh, explain.
Right? Less so.
I'd love to know how.
What do you mean?
Any
they
example?
Can't drive. They can't go out without...
They can't drive?
In certain countries, absolutely, women are oppressed. Are you literally denying that women are not oppressed in this world? In certain
we're talking
obviously
about
in America, right?
America,
I'm an American.
Right.
Women have equal rights, and I think this is a great society. But to suggest that women have not been oppressed in the past in this country,
we're in the West. Yeah, in this country.
In the past in this country, and throughout the world currently, to suggest that they're not oppressed is absurd.
Show me an example of American women. That's not an argument. Show me an example.
Yeah, this guy's not even giving any answers to her question. Give an example. He can't give any. Saying women can't drive in some places, that's his argument, apparently. I don't know where these people look to the sources for their information, but it's not anywhere trustworthy, that's for sure.
Example of American women ever being oppressed, comparatively to men.
Here we go.
There's a time in this country where women can't vote.
There was time in this country where men couldn't vote.
So
the majority of men could not vote.
That is not a retort. That is just saying, well, that's true. You basically just said that's true, but So you basically agree with me.
I asked you. How were men oppressing women if those men themselves didn't have the right to vote either?
Me to say,
so men with no voting rights oppressed women with no voting rights?
No. You asked me to give you an example of when women were oppressed, and I did. And then
By whom?
Your response was just that, yeah, men were oppressed too.
Yeah. So how could feminism be a reaction to oppression by men?
How is it not?
Because they weren't oppressed.
Yep, she's literally saying the same things I said sort of at the start about the wars and stuff like that. Like, that is a big deal, a massive historical event that happened. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of men were taken away from their families. Young boys sent to a war. They had no idea what they were doing. They didn't even know how to use a firearm. They were thrown on a boat, dropped off somewhere, and they were never seen again. Feminists, they just ignore that fact. They don't want to talk about that, and then they want to say, oh, women couldn't vote for a bit. Men couldn't vote for a bit. So if you really want to have a competition between the two, I think men win in that field of being oppressed, mate. But guys, do let me know what you think about this debate. The guy at the end was talking a whole load of nothing, really. But do let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.